Okay, we're ready to begin. We're up to the Maimer from Yud Beis Tammuz, Tovshim Mem Gimel, the 12th of Tammuz, 1983. Hasidic discourse. The Rebbe is discussing the blessing of HaGomel, and the Rebbe explains it that the blessing of the HaGomel is similar to the descent of the Neshama in this physical world, and in the same sense that by HaGomel there's four different aspects of HaGomel: somebody that went through a desert, somebody that crossed the sea, someone that was cured, and someone that was in prison. So in the same sense, in a spiritual sense, there's also these four different experiences, and a person benches HaGomel in his Aveda, in his service to Hashem, for the experiences that he went through and that he remained intact and complete. So we're up to page 1730. It is the second paragraph. V'hinei b'inyonim hameinim u'miyakvim. The benching HaGomel, the blessing of HaGomel, is for something that is interfering with a person. It is for something that interferes with a person, to endanger the person, and the person needs to bench HaGomel once he went out completely from this experience. That's when he can bench HaGomel, not when he's still in there. And that's the reason also why we see a sick person, a person that even recovered from a heart attack, can have a bench HaGomel, because the damage that was left in the heart is something, the damage, the scar, is something that has a long effect, and the melee didn't come out completely with a full healthy fled heart. The heart is not fully recovered. That's the Maila, that's the accomplishment that Hashem's refuah, Shas Hashem heals, not through the channel of medicine, and then there's no remnants left over from before. When it comes in a human way to the channel of medicine, so it can just accomplish for the future but not for the past. It cannot erase and undo the past. So whatever there is, whatever damage. So therefore, a HaGomel needs to be for one that has fully recovered. So now the Rebbe is going to explain how that is in Avedas Hashem, in the service to the Creator in a spiritual sense. V'hinei b'inyonim hameinim u'miakvim, the inyonim that are interfere, yesh b'chlolus dala defanim. There's four different formats. These are four inyonim that reflect the four different experiences that a person needs to bench HaGomel once he leaves the danger. The first one is Chayla Shenis Rapper, which this is Bechlal, going according to abbreviation as we have in davening, in the acronym of the word B'chol HaChayim. So it says Chayim is a Rosh Teva, Chayla Yam Yesurim Midbar. That B'chol HaChayim Yeducha Sela, that all the living should praise you, so we'll praise you. So this is Chayim, is an acronym for four words. Chayla Yam Yesurim Midbar. Chayla means someone that was sick and was cured. Yam means he crossed the sea, overseas, and that's the union of benching HaGomel when a person flies overseas. Yisurim is the union when he was in jail, imprisoned, and he was released. And Midbar, somebody that was in the desert and came through the desert in a positive way. So therefore the Rebbe starts here with the Ches, which is Chayla Shenis Rapper. It's interesting to note, and here we see the Reichkeit, Sayin the Rashes, and Sayin the Rashes Sichas. The Rebbe explains in Parshat Tzav, when the Teda discusses the inyan of Korban Teda, so it says, Im al Teda Yakrivenu, this is a Chumash, the top one. Im al Teda Yakrivenu, if he'll bring al Teda, if he'll bring sacrifice for thanking the Eibishter as an appreciation, as a thanksgiving. So Rashi explains the four different inyanim that a person experiences what he brings a Teda for. Vayikra. So Rashi says it in a different order than the usual way, than the way that it's mentioned maybe in Gemara. So Rashi says it different, and the Rebbe explains why Rashi selects after this Seder. Rashi says, Yerdei Hayom, the ones that go in the sea, travel by sea. Ve'helchem et bari is the ones that are going in the desert. V'chavushe beis hasurim, the ones that are in jail. the Chayla Shenes Rape, Chayla that was cured, a sick person that was cured. So the Rebbe asks, why this sequence? So the Rebbe answers, I mean, it's a whole beer from the Rebbe. This is the sequence which Yidden went through in the Midbar. First, they went through the Yer de Ayam. They went Kriyas Yamsuf. Then there was Helchem Midbariyas. I don't remember the other two, how the Rebbe explains it. But the Helchem Midbariyas, they went in the Midbar for 40 years. So this was their experience, what Yidden went through. And since this is Parsha Vayikra, Moshe Rabbeinu is telling them, relaying the word of Hashem to bring a sacrifice for a thanksgiving. So therefore, he is interpreting, Rashi is interpreting it, how it took place chronologically by them. In the context of their right, and how it took place by them. So therefore, it might be different than the way the Gemara mentions it, and the way that it might be in the acronym of the word Chaim, which starts with Chayla, in the person that was cured. So B'meila the Rebbe continues. Chayla shenes rape hu masha odem tzorich kidei lemale staf kidei lies leilev Yehudi body or meach Yehudi body. Chayla shenes rape means that a person needs, what does he need in order to fulfill his mission? So what he needs is a healthy Jewish heart and a healthy Jewish brain. And it's interesting. First the Rebbe says leiv and then the Rebbe says meach, which is also connected with a Maimer from the Frierdiker Rebbe. Maimer Frierdiker Rebbe says, Maimorim Tovshin Yudalos Sidoda, the Frierdiker Rebbe's Maimorim. Frierdiker Rebbe's Maimer, V'kibel HaYehudim, in Tofresh Pei Zayin. So there's a order from the Rebbe, what is the main part of the person's life? Is it the heart? I mean, what keeps the person alive? The heart or the brain? And there's a whole Geschichte, especially today when people are, when they're speaking about somebody that's clinically brain dead, if it's considered alive or not, it's the heart. So he brings over there, the Rebbe brings from Chacham Tzvi. Chacham Tzvi brings a very interesting tshuva that they once made upset monkeys, that their, what was it, their heart was taken of something, that 18 hours later they were still not, functioning fully, but it was like, it seemed like there was one, this proved which of it is, which is the one that functions, Then in other words, it could be, maybe it was a reflex of the pale. There's an order from the Rebbe, it's like Ansarian, based on a Maimer that the Frierdiker Rebbe says. He says like this, the Frierdiker Rebbe says in the Maimer, the same way a person cannot live without a head, he can't live without a heart. So the Rebbe brings the Rebbe brings from the Zeir, it's a long order from the Rebbe, Afilo Riga Choder, Afilo one Rega. Then he brings some Shas and Shuvas Chacham Tzvi. Actually, 3 different Shuvas Chacham Tzvi deals with it. Like, what's the prior source of life in a person? Aval Yesh Chilkim. The Rebbe says there are Chilkim ala Chacham Tzvi, and he brings the different Mefarshim, the different Shuvas and Poskim, and then he says the Tzorech Yong Tzas Ki Piski Din ala Tzemach Tzedek. He seems like he also sides with the one that disputes a Chacham Tzvi. But he says it could be because Chacham Tzvi brings an example from monkeys. So the Rebbe says, Aval Yesh Leima, that by a person is different. Then he brings another Meferish, or it could be, as it's mentioned in the Meir Nevuchim, in the Vaisis in a commentary in the Meir Nevuchim, Vayin B'Yad Shol B'Yeredeh Vein Kamekemen. But a whole order of Maramekemes, what's the main thing in a person? But he says by a heart, even one Rega cannot live. I mean, the same way like you can't live without a head.
Doesn't Halacha have a psak on this? What's considered dead?
You have today, right? I mean, there's the poskim, the contemporary poskim that discuss it. Now, I mean, there's Ramisha Tendlerps, others that gave out that they follow these different psakim. I don't even know if there's an agreement that they.
Medical law, you see, the heart stuff. I mean, we call it dead, but it's still clinically dead.
Right, because their brain is still there. Right.
Still alive.
Right.
That's why they do CPR, because there is a chance.
Right, to get oxygen. But it seems like some of the poskim all talk like that. I mean, this is what the Rebbe brings both shittas.
Who's the whole country?
The Yavitz, and was it given some Yavitz? Him and the Yavitz were related, the son, the father.